Hello, fellow aviators. Welcome back to Aliong'o Aerosphere, your hub for African aviation insights, from technology and market trends to careers and investment opportunities. Join us in exploring the future of African skies. Imagine a continent of 1.4 billion people, but it's only contributing 2% of global aviation traffic. You see, planes are crisscrossing Europe, Asia, and North America every single second, yet Africa's skies remain mostly empty. And this isn't just a statistic, it is a crisis, one that no one is really talking about. You see, let's start with some numbers. According to IATA, that's the International Aviation Transport Association, Africa accounts for just 2% of global air traffic. That is passengers and cargo flights combined. And that's less than what Canada or Germany alone contribute. And yet Africa spans 30 million square kilometers with a growing population, booming cities, and over 50 countries. Can you imagine that in many African countries, flying is still seen as luxury? It's not a mode of public transport, and of course the result, disconnected economies, slow intra-African trade, and missed opportunities in tourism, investment, and job creation. But what are the reasons exactly why Africa is grounded? You see, it turns out that there's no single answer to this, but several major factors. And we're gonna just list a few of them. So number one, we're talking about high operating costs. The fuel prices in Africa are actually the highest in the world. Landing fees, taxes, and maintenance costs, they all add up, and they make flying expensive for both the airlines and the passengers. Now, number two, we're talking of a fragmented airspace. With over 50 countries, airspace regulation just varies dramatically. And many intra-African flights still route through Europe. And that's like you're flying within the United States through a different continent. So think of you're flying from New York, you want to go to Atlanta, but you have to pass London first. Now, number three, we're talking of aging fleets and underdeveloped airports. Many regional carriers rely on older aircraft with high maintenance needs, of course. And dozens of airports lack basic infrastructure like radar systems or night landing capabilities. Political and regulatory instability. Lack of unified policy eventually makes route approval slow, bilateral agreements inconsistent, and absolutely investments risky. And what is the cost of this disconnection? Of course, with this gap, there isn't just, it isn't just about flying. It's about, the economy of Africa as a continent. The poor air connectivity increases the cost of doing business. It slows down emergency response, isolates communities, and makes intra-African trade a logistical nightmare. So ironically, Africa's growing middle class and rising youth population are demanding more mobility. But the infrastructure isn't just keeping up. And when you look at this, you feel like, well, this is a breath of fresh air. It's good news. The things are starting to shift. You see, for example, the Single African Air Transport Market, SATAM, which is an ambitious African Union initiative to unify airspace and liberalize aviation rules across the continent, is absolutely a move that's responding to the increasing demand of mobility. And we're talking of new airlines as well, carriers like Air Peace, Ethiopian Airlines, Kenya Airways. Most of these are investing in modern fleets and new routes. Now we have startups from drone delivery networks to electric air taxis. Africans and innovators are rewriting the playbook. So honestly, with the right political will, public-private collaboration, and smart investment, Africa could become the world's most exciting aviation market in the next 20 years. So what can we say? Africa's aviation crisis is real, but so is its potential. 2% may seem small today, but in a continent with 20% of the world's population, it is a wake-up call. And indeed, if you care about African development or just the future of aviation generally, this is a story worth watching and sharing. So don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Drop a comment. Let us know your thoughts on what you think is the biggest challenge or barrier to Africa's aviation growth. And it's always a pleasure having you around. Looking forward to seeing you in our next video. And as always, we say kwaheri kwa leo and bye-bye. Thank you.